Much, Mr. President. Well, I didn't intend to speak here today, as it seems to me that the resolution which we adopted here today speaks for itself. But as all members of the Council spoke, it would probably be odd, to say the least, if one of the co-sponsors of the resolutions, a member of the Council, simply stayed silent. This would probably be seen as perhaps not endorsing or approving what was said by the colleagues, but far be it from this. And as I'm taking the floor, well, of course, the natural first step is to thank all of the members of the Council who today voted in favor of the resolution we elaborated together with the Turkish delegation. We'd like to individually thank the delegation of Turkey for the very substantive contribution made by it during the work on this resolution. And just a few words, which I'll add now. All of us know that this has been a very difficult year. A year which in our capital comes to an end in only 2.5 hours. It was very difficult from the point of view of the work of the Security Council on the Syrian settlement. But the fact that we are concluding this year by unanimously adopted 2 such resolutions means that if all of us together look together at certain objectives rather than to attempt to gain benefit, then we are able to make important decisions. During this year, as all of us will recall, a number of very serious efforts were undertaken to achieve a radical improvement in the settlement of the Syrian crisis. All of us remember the numerous meetings of our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Lavrov, and the Secretary of State, John Kerry, always leading to serious agreement, but for reasons which I'm not going to go into now, these agreements unfortunately remained unfulfilled. And at the end of this year, the Russian Federation and Turkey, alongside the Syrian government, in contact with opposition groups, took it upon themselves to reach a number of very important agreements, which were enshrined in the documents which were published on December 29th and which were then circulated as an official document of the Security Council. And this is a very important initiative. This resolution, which was adopted by us today, speaks to the need to compliance with a cessation of hostilities regime in Syria and of a very important meeting in the capital of Astana, which in just 2.5 hours will become a member of the Security Council in Astana, where delegations of the opposition and the government will for the first time meet face to face. All of this in the context of the efforts which are being undertaken under the Security Council's mandate pursuant to resolutions 2254, 2268, and other very well-known documents. And all of this is enshrined in the resolution which was adopted here today, and it is very important that the Security Council today backed these efforts made by Russia and Turkey. I don't want to today come up with any criticism, but I would like to, in the most delicate of ways, just hint to colleagues, just ask them. It's a very complicated process. Everything that we're able to achieve is the result of enormous work and labor. So please, let's keep things clear. Please help us. If you can't help, if you don't want to help, then please just make sure that you don't complicate things. Don't, cast doubt over certain agreements which were achieved, attempt to reinterpret them in some way. Don't just ad infinitum repeat outdated cliches. I mean, there's some sort of classic sentences which some countries have been speaking for 6 years now. And regardless of the fact that these sentences, these cliches lead to nothing, they keep on being repeated. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Let us work very seriously on this and ensure that in 2017 we are able to achieve a political settlement to the crisis in Syria. We, for one, are convinced that if the international community works guided by this objective, the interests of the people of Syria and the stability of the region as a whole, then we can achieve success. President, thank you. And of course, my very last statement, words of gratitude to those members of the Council who are leaving us today, including the delegation of Spain, which carried out such a long, difficult month, 31 days, and it almost ends at midnight on the very last day. Thank you again.